Hi, how's it going, Kenneth and Fallon? My name is Julian, and I'm the SEO specialist at Bigger Vision. Pro told me that you guys had a couple questions and wanted me to kind of go over and give an audit of your site, as well as kind of talk about the company you guys kind of strive to be, which is Montessori, and kind of what they're doing and how can we replicate it and what we can do to potentially become to their status one day, and kind of go over also some of the sites that we worked on that we kind of want to do a similar approach to with your company. So, first and foremost, I want to start off with the audit. So, this is the technical audit that I did. We took it through our system and our program, just kind of went over some of the issues that you guys are currently having. So, right here, I color coded it by error and warning. Errors are things that absolutely need to get fixed immediately. Warnings are things that could potentially affect things down the road and need to get fixed. First of First and foremost being duplicate meta descriptions, slow load speeds when the site is loading up. So right here, I put the amount of pages with this issue, and I also put the descriptions. I kind of laid out in simple terms to kind of so you guys can understand what exactly is going on. And then I also put our solution to how we would fix this. So, for example, for slow speeds, one of the big important factors in your site ranking is how fast the site is loading. So, the quicker your site loads, the better your rankings are going to be. Google's going to want to promote your site more, that page more. So, one of the main factors that could be affecting it would be too much content on the page, like too much HTML, things like photos that are too big, images or videos that just need to be compressed down. So one of the solutions to that would be to take those photos, compress them down, and help speed up the time it takes for the servers to help load your site onto Google. So you guys can kind of go through there. We're going to provide you the document so you guys can take a look at this and see all the things that are going on. Obviously, when we were to take on this project, we would handle all these no issues. And also when we go to rebuilding a site, we would take these into considerations and hope that we fix all these and clear everything up, because the less errors you have, the more likely your site is to rank. Next, I went over the keywords that your site is currently ranking. So right here is the keywords that you guys have. Next is the position from 1 to 100. Obviously 100 being way far back in Google, page 10 of Google, with 1 being the first thing to show up when somebody types in that keyword. Next, I have the search volume, which is the monthly search volume, which is how many people are searching this a month. Then it's the keyword difficulty. Keyword difficulty is a 0 to 100 scale of how difficult something is. The lower the number, the easier it is to rank, the less competition there is. 100 or higher, the tougher it is to rank for. Ideally, we want to kind of go after things 50 difficulty or less, especially being that your site would be brand new and it needs to kind of start from the beginning. And then next is the traffic you're currently getting. Currently, you're getting no traffic to the site. And then is the URLs that are being promoted by those keywords. So for Mason Tuition, this is the URL that's being promoted for that keyword. Now let's kind of go over the other site that you guys recommended to us to check out and what you guys kind of strive to be. This is Guidepost Montessori. So after taking a look at their site, this is kind of an overview of what's going on with these guys. So they have an authority score of 38. So for you, if you don't know, authority score is a score that Google sets for your website based on the authority and the trust that is being given due to the content that you've created before. So basically, the higher the score, the more Google trusts your domain. And the more Google trusts your domain, the more likely you are to rank for more difficult keywords, because Google's always going to want to prioritize sites with higher authority. So 38 for a site is pretty good. Very rarely do you see a lot higher. Usually you're talking about big websites, things like Amazon, like that, they'll have 90 or so. But for a medium-sized to smaller-sized business, really, if you're above 20, that's a really good sign that your site is very healthy and you're more likely to rank for a lot of stuff. Currently, right now, they have 56,000 organic search traffic, and it looks like they started performing SEO about 2018, because prior to that, they were getting about 300 to 100, and it was like that for about 2 years or a year. And then around 2018, it seems to be that they hired possibly a SEO consultant agency, you name it, marketing agency, to help kind of boost the organic search. And over the past year, since pretty much around early 2020, they have shot up. In late 2019, they have shot up to what they are now. And then these are the organic keywords, the amount of keywords that they're ranking for. So they have 18,000 keywords that they're currently ranking for. Now, let's look into what exactly that traffic's coming from. And these are the organic keywords that Montessori is currently ranking for. So right now, their biggest traffic getter is their main branded keyword, a guidepost Montessori. So majority of their keywords is coming from branding. So it looks like not only are they performing SEO, but it seems to be they're doing a lot of advertising and really getting a lot of brand recognition and brand advertising out there. Because to see this much branded keywords, it's usually because they're getting their name out other ways. So people are searching for their specific name. So we see this a lot with people who do a lot of commercials or ads, that their branded keywords are going to go up in traffic because people know the name, they're searching for it. So this is going to be a little bit different when it comes to yours. Also, what they're doing is, and this is a tried and true method that people have been doing in SEO over the past couple of years, is basically creating blog posts, answering questions, and more informational intent keywords. So for example, one of their top keywords is gentle parenting. Right now they're ranking 3 for it. And they have that keyword has 14,000 volume. So they're able to generate 444 traffic from that keyword of gentle parenting. They put a post, blog, beginner's guide to gentle parenting. So this is a more difficult keyword, 67, but they're able to get that because of the authority score they have. In your case, since it would be a brand new site, we need to go after what we call the low-hanging fruit. These are going to be easier things to kind of go after. And as we slowly build and go after these, they're going to be easier. The more trust you're going to gain from Google. So they also did this by utilizing their brand questions. So like people that have questions about their brand, they're creating blog posts over it. So for example, they saw that a popular keyword is Montessori crib. So they decided to create a blog post and to answer that specific keyword to help gain that traffic that they otherwise would have been missing out on. I mean, this alone, the Montessori floor bed, is getting 9,000 traffic with a keyword difficulty of 31. So it was, for them, it's a no-brainer to help create that post, bring that traffic in, and then from that page, you can then push them to your service pages and contact us and so on and so forth. So we kind of want to do a similar approach to that. Obviously, since the company doesn't quite have a brand recognition yet, we're going to have to go over more general keywords such as daycare, or ask for questions, things like this gentle parenting, or what is the average cost of daycare monthly, kind of things like that, and create posts related to that to help bring in traffic, bring some authority in, gain some trust from Google. Also, what they're doing is they've created a ton of location-based pages. So, for example, we have guidepost Montessori Toulouse, Bushy Creek, Beaverton, Peoria, Foothill Ranch, OKC, Duluth, so on and so forth, a ton of different cities. So we're going to want to do the same thing. So as you guys grow and gain more locations, we're going to want to create blog posts for those, not blog posts, but service pages for those different locations. And those are all going to be unique and different, because one thing that Google doesn't like is duplicate content. We can't just duplicate it, change the title. Google's going to realize what we're doing. They're going to penalize us for it. So we want to make sure that each is unique and related to that specific city. So we want to add things like suburbs and specific landmarks or whatever related to those different service areas. Because as you can see here, like these alone are getting 100 traffic. So we want to make sure that we're getting this. But like I said, the one difference is, since you guys don't have the branding yet, we're going to do the same approach, but instead of having the brand name, because no one's going to be searching for the keyword currently because it's not there yet, we're going to go after keywords such as daycare, childcare, and then insert city name. So as you guys build services, build locations, we're going to create different service pages for it. And now let's go into their backlinking. So if you guys don't know, backlinking is essentially when one site links to your site. The more backlinks you have, generally, the more Google's going to trust your site more. It's basically like a reference. If I was to apply for a job for you, you're going to reach out to my reference. My reference is going to tell you everything about me. Therefore, you're going to gain more trust from me. So there's two aspects of it. So there's the referring domains and then there's the backlinks. So referring domains is the domain or the amount of domains that are linking to your site. The backlinks is the page linking to your site. So you can have dozens of backlinks with one referring domain. And also with that, when you have a site linking to you, they're going to hyperlink it. And usually that hyperlink is going to be a word, and that word is going to be your anchor text. Ideally, you want the anchor text to be your target keyword or your brand name. As you can see here, they put a lot of emphasis on branded keywords. So their most common anchor text is their brand name. You also want to do these for your target keywords, specifically even more difficult ones. The more anchor text, the more authority showing that this is what your page is about, the more likely Google is to rank your page. So if we're going to do Daycare Atlanta, we want to create some anchor text and some backlinks that say Daycare Atlanta and then linking to that specific page on top of what you're doing with branded keywords as well. But obviously, you don't want just any backlinks. You want high quality backlinks, not spammy ones. Google will penalize you if they see that you're using a ton of spammy backlinks. So you want to make sure they're high quality and coming from legitimate sites with legitimate traffic. So one thing I noticed with them is they have a really good backlink profile now, but it seemed at some point they didn't. It seemed at some point they had a ton of low quality referring domains linking to their site. You ideally want to have domains with an authority score of 25 or higher. 20 is doable. As you can see here on this chart, anything below 20 is in a light blue. But looks like they spent the time to make sure that all those spammy backlinks are becoming a no-follow backlink, which is basically you're telling Google to not consider these, because once somebody backlinks to your site, there's no way to necessarily remove it, but you can disavow them. So you go into your Google Search Console, which is a program within Google that's linked to your site, and you can bring a whole list of all these domains and say, do not count these domains to my authority score. So as you can see here, they had a bunch of these spammy ones, and they're all saying no follow now because they basically said, don't look at these are spam, don't take this into consideration. So they're doing a good job now, because you see it in the dip here in June. A lot of their backlinks dropped and now starting to slowly climb again, and it's most likely due to them removing a lot of them, and now they're replacing them with higher quality ones. So yeah, in conclusion, we pretty much want to copy this same format. We want to go after low-hanging fruit keywords that are easy to rank for, create blog posts for. We want to create service pages for each one of your services as well as your locations. And obviously, we're going to do extensive keyword research to make sure that we're targeting the ones that fit for what your site currently has. So like I said, they have to be easy, simpler ones. And then we want to set up the more commercial-based ones. Those are going to be more difficult, more ones with more traffic. So, but we're going to make sure that we're assisting those with other posts and what we call internal linking. So internal linking is essentially kind of like a backlink, but within your own site. You have one page and you're hyperlinking it into another page. So the more internal links you have going to a page, the more you're showing Google that this page is important. And as each one of these pages gain traffic, these are all going to be feeding into this page. And that's called tier internal link building. So as you create one difficult keyword that you want to go after, you're going to put a lot of related, easier ones branching off and pushing towards them, and then even more branches. So and as you add those tiers, the more authority, the more you're telling Google this is an important page. And as each one of those get its own set of traffic, all those pages are gaining its authority and also in return helping this one. So we kind of want to put together, we would want to put together a strategy of what keywords we want to go after, the best ones that fit your business and your services. And here I can kind of show you a related site to how we did this. So this is a CEO lawyer site. This is a site that we've done, that I've worked on personally, where we've kind of followed these same principles. You have the home page, but then you would go to Miami, for example, or Atlanta, for example, and then this will take you to CEO Lawyer Atlanta Personal Injury page. This is us targeting the Atlanta market. And then within there, you're going to have different tiers pushing to this page. So when I go to bicycle accident, we're going to have CEO Lawyer Atlanta Personal Injury, bicycle accident lawyer. So therefore, anybody who's in Atlanta or in the Atlanta area, they're going to get pushed to this page. So we're creating these different service pages based on these locations. Obviously, now we're targeting these different markets. We're bringing in more traffic from these markets that we otherwise wouldn't have got if we didn't do this. And the same goes for these blogs. So we have free resources and FAQs, for example. In your case, it would be blogs. We could also do with FAQs, depending on what strategy you want to go with. And these are all pushing certain things. So what are common head injuries after a bicycle accident? This is now pushing to the Georgia law page. So it's all kind of tiers and making sure we're supporting each one. We also did this too in a similar sense, not children, but with dogs. This is a dog daycare, a pet resort. This is us creating service pages for the different one in a more general sense, but then we go on and to create each one for each location. This is a company that's based in Pennsylvania area, and they have 6 different locations. And then when you go into these all have its unique pages with this unique content that's related to that direction. So when somebody looks up Blue Mountains Dog Care or Blue Mountains Dog Resort or Blue Mountains Pet Daycare, the goal is to have them ranked for this site. So lastly, I kind of want to go over, so Pro told me that you guys had a question about site migration, and if you guys were to acquire a business and bring on another site, how would we, is there a way to possibly maintain that site traffic that that site currently has and bring it over to ours? So it's kind of a complicated answer. So one thing for sure is that there is going to be a loss in traffic regardless, because you're switching to a new domain, you're changing up a lot of things. That site is, the domain authority is tied to that specific domain. So when you get rid of that site and you merge it into this one, all that authority, all those backlinks, everything that was associated with that is now gone. But there is some things that we can do to help mitigate the loss that's happening there. So when we would acquire a site, we would basically take all the top ranking pages, all the pages that are bringing the most traffic, and we want to duplicate those onto your page. Then from there, we're going to redirect from that old site onto your site. So now you're telling Google, this site no longer exists. We want to push it over here. You're naturally going to see a decrease in traffic because it's going to take time for Google to adjust and realize and crawl your site to make sure that it knows exactly what's going on here. And that potentially take days, weeks. It all depends on the specific case. But that's going to be the best way for us to help mitigate it. Is just pretty much we want to duplicate all those sites that are bringing in traffic and then take them and redirect them and say, and point them over to your site now. So also there is the Google business profiles. Those are going to be easier to help migrate a lot of that site traffic because we would basically change the branding, change the name, all the information, the website, phone number, whatever it might be. We're going to change that, and then we're going to change ownership to you guys. So then it's going to fall under a franchisee. You're going to maintain a lot of that same traffic. You're going to keep the reviews. There is a potential dip in traffic that you might see because there's going to be a change in name, and Google's going to have to help. There's going to have to take the time to understand what's happening there. So there might be a slight dip, but it should be a less significant dip compared to what's happening on the websites. But your Google business pages are going to be the more important pages anyways, because those are going to be the ones that are going to bring in the most traffic. Because when people Google things, we want yours to show up on that Google map pack. So when people type in whatever in Google, they can easily click on that phone or that website button to take you to whatever location they might be looking for. But overall, I do want to end with all this SEO. This is kind of the foundation of what's going to be going into it before we even build the site. So once I put together an SEO strategy with Pro and we sit down and we kind of talk about and we get it approved by you guys, it's then going to be onto Pro to then, when he starts his web build, to help to follow this SEO strategy and this foundation we put in place. And he's going to do it with his own team, and they're going to put a heavy emphasis on conversion optimization, because you can put in all this SEO work, but if a site is not converting or optimized for the consumer journey to help lead them to purchasing your services, it's going to affect your SEO, because somebody can go to your site, and if they immediately get off your site and the bounce rate is super high, then Google's going to be less likely to want to rank your site, because it's showing Google that, hey, this site's not actually providing people who are searching for this keyword what they want. So our goal is, when somebody goes to our site, and what Pro's web team job is to do, is to help design the site in a way that is most beneficial to the user and gives them all the information that they're looking for and helps guide them to wanting to purchase their services. So it's kind of we're going to be working in tandem with that, with me and Pro, with me on the SEO side, making sure that we're knowing what content to create, and him designing it in a certain way that makes it best for that user. But anyways, yeah, that's the end of the audit. I want to thank you for making it to the end if you have, and let Pro know if you have any questions for me or for him. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to talk to you guys soon.